Welcome to Hometown Teams, where we build an NFL team's roster using only local players, and by local I mean in-state. Today we're looking at the Chicago Bears, and not only does Illinois put a full team out, it's a pretty impressive one. So we start at the left tackle position with Anthony Costanzo, which is a very strong start. He's out of Des Plaines. Then at left guard we have Laken Tomlinson, who wasn't actually born in any US state. He was born in Savannah, Lamar, Jamaica. Moved to Chicago at 11 years old, went to high school there. Next up is Josh Klein at center out of Hoffman Estates. And then at right guard we have our first actual hometown hero here, Jeff Allen out of Chicago, Illinois, went to college at Illinois. And then finishing off the line, which is impressive, especially the two tackle positions, Brian Boulager out of Barrington, he went to college at Iowa. And that's the offensive line. It's pretty impressive, but what I'm really impressed with is the tight end position. And it starts off with CJ Fedorowicz out of Johnsburg. He also, like Boulager, went to Iowa. On top of that, you have Kobe Fleener out of Lamont, who went to college at Stanford. And if that isn't enough, you've also got Cameron Brait out of Naperville. He went to college at Harvard. And that completes our top line here, and we can move on to the wide receivers. So our first wide receiver is Cameron Meredith, and we've already looked at 8 players before him, and he's only our second player who stayed in state. He's out of Westchester and went to Illinois State for college. Then our next receiver, Andre Holmes out of Hoffman Estates, went to college at Hillsdale in Division II. And then our last wide receiver is Laquan Treadwell. Not born in Illinois, he was born in Boston, however went to high school in Illinois, was Illinois' top-rated football recruit in 2013, was named the Chicago Tribune's Player of the Year. I think he qualifies. Then our running back Tevin Coleman out of Oak Forest went to college at Indiana. And then the fullback is Corey Harkey. Now he was born in Chicago but went to high school in California at Chino Hills. And then our quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo out of Arlington Heights went to college at Eastern Illinois. One of the few players here on offense, one of 3 to actually stay in-state for college. And that is the offense. I was very pleasantly surprised by the tackles and the tight ends. Not bad in other positions as well. Let's move on to the defense. So on defense, we kick it off with the free safety Sergio Brown out of Maywood, went to college at Notre Dame. Then a strong safety Clayton Fedulum out of Lamont, went to college at Illinois. Then a right outside linebacker O'Brien Schofield, who was born in Camden, South Carolina, but went to high school in Illinois, also a Super Bowl champion. Then a middle linebacker, we got Nate Palmer out of Chicago, went to college at Illinois State. And to finally spice the defense up a little bit, we have Rob Ninkovich at left outside linebacker from Blue Island, went to college at Purdue. So our first cornerback, Sherrick McManus out of Peoria, went to college at Northwestern, staying in state. Then our next cornerback, Rashawn Melvin out of Waukegan, also stayed in state for college, going to Northern Illinois. And then our last cornerback is Charles Tillman, who of course is retired, but is literally our only other option. He's out of Chicago, however went to high school in Texas, went to college at Louisiana Lafayette, but of course returned to Chicago after being drafted in the 2nd round in 2003 by the Bears. So onto the defensive line, and we start with Vincent Valentine at tackle. He's out of Madison, went to college at Nebraska. Ahead of him, Corbin Bryant out of Chicago, stayed in state to go to Northwestern. Then our first defensive end, and we struggled at this position, and you'll see how bad it got in a second. We got Desmond Bryan out of Shorewood, Illinois, went to high school in North Carolina, college at Harvard. And then at the left end position, we've got our first inclusion, which is a rookie, and it's Solomon Thomas, born in Chicago, went to high school in Texas, went to college at Stanford. And that completes this team. So the defense, of course, a little bit of a step down from the offense, but the offense, like I said, very surprising. Anytime a state can put together an entire team is impressive anyway, and that's what Illinois managed to do here, and it's not a bad one whatsoever.